Okay, welcome back to the special report and the special edition of Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups. So now the damage control is in full swing, and ABC News is gleefully reporting that Miriam Goderich, who is the one who supposedly edited the text of the biography that was printed in the literary pamphlet in 1991 for Obama's first book, proclaiming that he was born in Kenya and raised in Indonesia and Hawaii. Miriam Goderich, Goderich, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Miriam Goderich, I think. Anyway, she has now come forward after yesterday's revelation in WorldNet Daily and Drudge. She has now come forward. She says that she is a partner at the DECEIT and Goderich Agency, which, by the way, still lists to this very day Obama as one of its current clients. She says concerning this pamphlet published in 1991, she says, quote, "This was nothing more than a fact-checking error by me." Wow, what a fact error. Anyway, she says it's nothing more than an error. I was an agency assistant at the time. She goes on to say, there was never any information given to us by Obama in any of his correspondence or other communications suggesting in any way that he was born in Kenya and not Hawaii. I hope you can communicate to your readers that this was a simple mistake and nothing more, she indicated to Yahoo News. Well, listen, I've got some, I've got a revelation for Miriam Goderich. This is not a simple mistake. And you know how I know? Because I have just published a book with a world-class publisher, WND Books, and my biography is in there. And pre-publication information about me was done by WND Books. Can you imagine if that biography or that pre-publication information said, Carl Gallups, the author of The Magic Man in the Sky, effectively defending the Christian faith, was born in Canada or was born in Australia but raised in Florida? Can you imagine, number one, that I would not say anything about that? Can you imagine, number two, that they would not fact-check to find out where I was born before they publicized it and printed it? Number three, can you not imagine that nothing would ever be said by the publishers or by me for over 20 years? Until, of course, I happened to be running for office and the question of where I was actually born was being raised. No, this stinks to high heaven. He's still listed as a current client. She comes forward and said it was an error. Well, wait a minute. How could you make such an error? How could you assume that this young black man back in the 1990s, who's the president of the Harvard Law Review, why would you assume he was born in Kenya and make that the first sentence of your pamphlet? Why would you assume that? Where did you get that information? You are now saying that Obama never said anything to you. Well, isn't that a bit presumptuous on your part to indicate that he was born in Kenya when Obama never said that, according to you? No, folks, please don't be duped by this. Logic and common sense tells you that either Obama told her that, or school records indicated that, or some other source of authority did. And the reason we know that to be a fact is because if it was false information, somebody would have pointed that out to her, including Obama himself, and it would not have taken 20 years. Folks, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of smoke, and there's a lot of fire. But let me remind you, birthers have now been vindicated by this. Because, again, we've been called crazy for suggesting that Obama might have been born in Kenya. And this document and this so-called error does not prove that he was born in Kenya, but it does prove that Obama's own handlers, his own people, and Obama himself were allowing publications to be printed proclaiming that he was born in Kenya in 1991. That's the kind of information that we've been going off of for the last several years. So no, we're not crazy. The facts are out there. The smoke is billowing in the air. There's fire somewhere just behind it. Mark my words. Get your copy of my new book, The Magic Man in the Sky, Effectively Defending the Christian Faith. Considering the days in which we now live, you need this book. Available at Amazon.com and WND Superstore. Get your copy today.